So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. This time it's Team India 2, Basball 1. I think before the start of the second test, we were saying Basball taking a lead, but now Team India is back and have taken the lead once again in the five-match test series. I have two guests. One of them is a familiar face, Orko. Welcome to the show once again. But a new introduction, Mr. Arijit. Welcome to the show for the very first time. I'll let you all know that he is a sports commentator in the field of cricket as well. So he has vast knowledge according to all of you guys and more than us rather. I'll firstly introduce you. How does it feel to be part of the show and fifth umpire for the first time?
Yeah, thank you so much, Pritam, for having me. I'd like to deny the second point that you made, vast knowledge. Then you guys know nothing like that because it's all about taking from each one of us, and learning from. That's all about the game, isn't it? You will learn from us, we learn from you, and that's how it goes.
That's so nice of you, Arijit. Thank you so much for that. But we once again moving to the test number four, Orko. As a recap, if you can say how was the third test? Did you expect India to dominate things from 31 for three early in the morning in day one? We were struggling a bit.
Well, firstly, kudos to the way Rohit played that day. A very high pressure knock that he ended up playing, and then some good support from aggressors like Jurel and Sarfaraz, which took us to a quite a majestic score, I should say. And then our bowlers, out of nowhere, when Ashwin was not there, they pulled things back within just 3 4 hours, bundling up England in the first innings, and followed by the second innings as well, where England were bundled out much cheaper than the previous one. So obviously a very dominant performance that you expect India to give in their home tracks, and happy that we have gone 2-1 up. Instead of baseball, we are more of bat and ball. So it's good that the bat and ball theory is working over the baseball right now.
Absolutely. Let's get things started. Then thank you so much, Orko, for that. And we move on to the squad. Relatively, I would say the Indian squad is getting thinner and thinner. A lot of new faces we are getting to see. Arijit, we have seen two or three debutants in the past two matches. Sarfaraz Khan, we have seen Dhruv Jurel, Rajat Patidar. How important of a test match is this one for Rajat Patidar?
Again, it is going to be important for him because there's a question on the number four position. See, if Virat Kohli comes back in, like obviously he's not coming in this Test series, but whenever he comes back, he'll take that spot, right? But
Yes,
so it's Rajat Patidar for him. I think he's a brilliant cricketer. First of all,
correct.
he's played, he's scored tons of runs for Madhya Pradesh, but unfortunately he suffered an injury a few months back, almost a year back actually, and then he's still getting into the groove, isn't it? So it's very important for Rajat Patidar, but I'd also see that he is in contention with someone like Devdutt Padikkal for the number four spot currently. So you never know what the team goes on with the think tank goes on with. If it's, but I still feel that they might give another nod to Rajat Patidar and may not drop him because already 2-1 up in the series, and it's not that they're lacking behind. So yeah, it's very important for Rajat Patidar and also for RCB, I reckon.
Okay, so I do think so as well that he will get one more opportunity because he was almost on the verge of getting his place lost because KL Rahul was almost about to come back. Then suddenly KL Rahul got ruled out for the fourth test as well. We don't know what will happen for the fifth test, be it Virat Kohli, be it KL Rahul, but I generally think that Rajat will get a chance in the fourth test, especially. But going on to another player, Sarfaraz Khan, Orko, how happy I used to see him scoring runs finally after getting a chance an Indian cap in the third test.
I mean, see, he's a particular journey which people have often waited for it to see a launch because people said that he should have been in this circuit maybe 2 3 years ago because he has scored bucket loads of runs in the Ranji Trophy seasons for almost 2 to 3 years. I believe he averages nearly 100 or more than that. And for a person of such caliber, players who have had much more mediocre numbers played more than him, and that's actually sad. But finally, justice prevailed, as we can say that talent got its own opportunity which it deserved, and he grabbed it with both hands. And he's also played some aggressive brand of cricket. Who knows? He may get an IPL contract as a replacement for some team as well. So it's good that the good days of Sarfaraz are back again. He did show some promise in the starting a few months after the Under 19 World Cup, but then lost his way out, and I think this is his resurrection.
Absolutely, I 100% agreed, and I think he can be potentially that replacement. Too early to say, but will he be that replacement of Shreyas Iyer in the Test format?
Absolutely could be because see what you get from Shreyas is a player who plays spin very well, but he's not been consistent enough in this format. And if Sarfaraz gives that consistency, then he can give you what Shreyas already does, that is playing and dominating spin in a very good way. So Sarfaraz can be an option for the long term, even if Kohli and Rahul come back, or even for example Pant comes back. Then we have to see how we fit in Sarfaraz. But given the way he's playing, he's showing that X factor in him. He's showing that he can be someone who can play like a right-handed Pant, given the fact that he attacks the spinners very well. So obviously, Sarfaraz is one to look for the future.
Correct. And Arijit, any addition to this?
Yeah, about Surfraz, he has got that hunger, and he comes I would say it from a like closer perspective, right? So I interacted with him, and when you speak with Surfraz, he's not that quiet guy, he's always he wants to express himself, be it in the field or be it when you talk with him, and uh, he has that hunger, he has that potential, and obviously there's no doubt about the potential. He belongs. His father. He's worked so hard after him. Even his
Correct.
younger brothers, Mushid, he really did well in the under 19 World Cup, isn't it? So the whole family, they the brothers are doing really very well. And coming back to Sarfaraz, he has that hunger, and I think that hunger is very important. You look at someone like Surya Kumar Yadav, currently he's came into the in the Indian setup, but before that he had three good domestic seasons. And you were born in India, and you want to play cricket for the nation is difficult. I agree. If you compare it with other some other nations,
Correct.
because there's so many people who want to take up this profession, as a passion. They want to convert it. So, seeing Sarfraz do that in the higher level, he's just trailing a path for everyone, for the young guns, to follow and see that, hard work does yield success.
And a little bit of Orko you said about Rishabh Pant. I'll come back to Arijit once again. What's wrong with? I shouldn't say wrong. But what's the difference which KS Bharat couldn't do in the first couple of tests, but Dhruv Jurel could do in the third test? That gives him a nod ahead of the remaining two test matches as well.
For Kees Bharat, it's like if you look at Kees Bharat's technique, it's like more of an old school cricketer. If you look at him, the way he plays, he's more old school. And if you look at Dhruv Jurel, he's more type aggressor. Not exactly aggressor won't be the perfect word to describe Dhruv Jurel, but he has got that attacking play in him. He can switch gears. He's someone who can play more well with the tail enders, because you're a wicket keeper in a test. You come at number seven. You the most on most days you'll get to bat with the tail with number 8, 9, 10. So if you
Yeah.
if you are Dhruv Jurel, you can accumulate more runs. But if you're Case Bharat, you need someone from the opposite end to assist you. Well, so
Okay.
that is one big difference. What find is that that is the reason why even Rishabh Pant got a nod ahead of Riddhiman Saha earlier on. So yeah, that being said, that's my point. I'd like to pass on to Orku now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like he said, the approach of KS Bharat is a bit more conservative, a bit more old school, as he rightly stated. And for someone who bats so low down the order, where you need a lot of runs, when there's pressure of you getting all out, obviously you need someone who is more expressive, who can dominate the bowling. And people like Jurel or Pant can do that, and people like Shaha or, for that matter, Bharat cannot do that. So in this modern developing form of cricket, obviously players like Jurel are more suited. With Jurel doing well with the bat, if you compare both of them, obviously Jurel should be preferred for now.
Okay, fair enough. I agree with this point as well. Arijit, going on to the final point for Team India is that which Bengal pacer do you think? We all are from Bengal. Which Bengal pacer do you think will get a nod in the fourth test?
I saw that coming, isn't it? When you told the last question, I knew that it would be because, yeah, see, both Mukesh Kumar and Akash Deep, they have done a tremendous job. If you look at the last 3 years for Bengal, like they have just topped the chart in more occasions than not, and that is why Mukesh Kumar he bagged an IPL contract last season. Now into the Indian setup, Akash Deep he's with RCB now into the Indian setup, and I agree that they got the IPL contacts first, contracts, but that is T20 and this is Test. So there's a shift in the
Correct.
format. But if you look at close numbers in the red ball cricket, I think Mukesh Kumar and Akashji, both of them are best suited for this particular format. Uh, but Mukesh Kumar and Akashji, if you have to tell me to choose either of them, it's a big headache for the management, and so it is for me. But I would like to differentiate one thing. Mukesh Kumar. as everyone has been saying, a lot of people have been saying about that he's more of like Mohammad Shami with an upright seam and gets a little bit of seam movement, just enough to beat the outside edges or the inside edges. You know, but in terms of pace, he's slightly lower. And other
Correct.
factor is that he got 10 wickets recently, right, against Bihar. So that
Correct.
is one of the, like, I agree that Bihar is not that they don't have a very star-studded lineup or a very compact batting lineup. But yeah, Mukesh Kumar, and also he got it at his home, if I'm not wrong. So
Yeah.
I would like to see, for a change, we have seen Mukesh Kumar what he did in the second test against England. For a change, I would love to see Akashdeep bowling with Mohammad Siraj, that RCB duo. And let's say, Akashdeep is also someone who can bang the deck hard on certain occasions, all the short deliveries, the barrage of short balls all of a sudden when with the old ball. With the new ball, he can get a little bit of movement here and there. And we've seen in Jharkhand, if you look at the last two tests over here, played against Australia and the other one was against South Africa, Shami and Umesh Yadav, both of them did get wickets. So the England, we did hear from Oli Pope, I guess, that there are a good amount of cracks in the field in certain areas. But again, you cannot just get carried away with that because the
Yeah.
Pacers gets help over here as well. So I would love to see Akash get his test cap.
Okay. Going to Orko once again in the same question. Arijit says, I want to see Akashdeep play this test match. Mukesh Kumar had a wonderful game against Bihar as well. He will get the confidence. But just to keep in mind, we do not have a Jasprit Bumrah this time. So it's going to be a wise enough to experiment a debutant alongside Mohammad Siraj.
Well, I don't know whether it will work, but yeah, obviously, as cricket fans, we would like to see someone new in the form of Akashdeep, given what he provides, because he's a hit the deck bowler. He can give you a bit with the bat as well. So obviously, Akashdeep is a tempting prospect. But that being said, with the series on the line, we know that we haven't won the series yet. With England looking to come back, it's like a do or die test for them. I think they will trust that bit of experience a little more than Akashdeep, which comes through Mukesh Kumar. Maybe for this test, they may look at Mukesh, and maybe in the final test, they may think of Akashdeep or any such experiments.
Okay, that could be a fair point, but we cannot take the final test as well lightly because we have the WTC format, so we have to win every single home game. Moving on to the visitors now, Arijit. My first question out here is this player, which I have said always when it comes to touring India, he's a free wicket. That is Johnny Besto once again. Do you think it's time for the England management and Ben Stokes to look forward and give somebody like a Daniel Lawrence an opportunity?
No, see, if I speak in the perspective of the English camp, I think they're going to back Johnny Bairstow. And Brendan McCullum said that, yeah,
Okay.
he knows that the numbers are not good of Bairstow in recent times, as it was, 1.5 or 2 years back when he's scored centuries after centuries, and he also had a good Ashes, if I'm not wrong. So,
Yeah.
going by that, Johnny Bairstow, once upon a time, he was a poster boy of the baseball at the very early start, right? So I don't think that England are going to drop him. Johnny Bairstow, he's going to be that number 5 or number 6 out there, and but again, it'll be tough time for Johnny Bairstow. I don't think it'll be very easy. He needs to grind hard, uh, again, because it's not been a very good. See outing for Johnny Bairstow as well as for Joe Root, two senior guys of this
Yeah.
English camp. Bairstow is going to play his 99 tests. So, yeah, let's see how it unfolds. But again, if we talk about the decision, I think he'll play. And but how good he will play, that time will say.
Also, as you said about Joe Root, don't you think the baseball approach has just transformed his batting to be a bit more aggressive, as we all have seen, and also those rammed shots, which sometimes are working, sometimes are not. So, do you expect him to go back to what he was, the class player when he had that Fab Four kind of price tag, or do you expect him to play the same way which Brendan McCullum has asked him to?
I'm telling from the reports that came today from the from Jharkhand that Joe Root, when he was batting out there, he seemed a little more at his previous gear and not the recent baseball gear, like the attacking approach that he has been seeing recently. So again, I feel some way I do feel that this English team, like after this 434 is defeat, huge margin of defeat. I think that they have somewhat they have been trembled. If you talk about the mindset wise, so it will be seen like how, because baseball has been questioned and questioned for the first time. Yes, Australia did question them during the Ashes series, but again, they somehow managed to retain. Like they just 2-2, right? But now they are lagging behind. So, and it was a huge defeat, 434 run margin. So somewhere down the line, I believe that they are kind of becoming shaky. So I do
Correct.
feel that Joe Root is going to again try and see if he's going to play the grafter's role out there in the middle.
Okay, agreed with this. We will see in the fourth test whether he goes back to what Joe Root was in the previous years. But final question, Orko, I would want to bring in this player, Rehan Ahmed. I think is his batting that has kept him remaining in the playing 11 ahead of somebody like a Shoaib Bashir, who I feel is a better disciplined bowler, bowling constantly in the same line and length. What's wrong with Rehan Ahmed's bowling?
I think, as you said, his batting is what's keeping him in the side because what he provides with the ball is obviously not very consistent. Of late, he has been, haywire in terms of his line and length. Not the Rehan Ahmed we often know from the county circuit, as he was rated someone who England call the next Shane Warne in their team. They believe that the action is similar to Warne, and they said that he's going to be someone who will be the cornerstone of spin bowling in England. But sadly, that didn't happen just yet. Of course, it's early days. We can't judge him by 1-2. But he's been haywire. And if you look for bowling discipline, then maybe they can trust Bashir. And Shoaib Bashir also can bat even for Somerset. He used to bat. And, he's been more of a slogger. He can't be someone who will survive in the crease for too long. But he gives those cameos, quick fire cameos with the bat as well. Now, will they go in for Bashir or Rehan? Obviously, time will tell. But maybe I would prefer Bashir right now, or because he's more of a disciplined bowler, and Rehan has got his share of opportunities, and he couldn't capitalize with what he was given.
Absolutely. Okay, fair enough. I agree with this one. So moving on to the next slide, that is the absentees slide, and we have seen the players out here. Virat Kohli, we all know the reason behind that. KL Rahul, another injury that has got into him as well. Jasprit Bumrah has been rested for the fourth test, but Ishan Kishan, Arijit, I will come to you. What's wrong with Ishan Kishan? Is he all right? Is everything all right between him and BCCI?
Now, I don't think I'm the correct person to answer this question, but I'll still have my opinion on it. Ishan Kishan, see, first and foremost, I think with the there's something between the management and Ishan Kishan. Now see we did see that when Ishan Kishan was found somewhere partying or something in the but
Yeah.
he was having some workload management or something like that. But that's fine, he can. But again, recently, but what was the latest report from Ishan Kishan is that he was seen training with Hardik Pandya and co in the western part of India. So I think he's just gearing up for the IPL season. But again, he didn't play for his Ranji side, if I'm not wrong. So
Correct.
there's a dark covering over it, on Ishan Kishan's availability and what's the communication on with BCCI. So it's going to see how it will be interesting to see how things go on from here.
Okay, and Orko, coming to you, what is this the perfect opportunity since the past 1 year for the likes of Ishan Kishan and KS Bharat also to get a chance in the playing 11 and make them there? It's because till the time Pant is out, because one Pant is back, you know that he will be the front liner.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a perfect opportunity, more so for Ishan Kishan because he brings that aggressive brand of cricket, and he's also
Correct.
pretty good with the gloves as well. So he could have actually capitalized on opportunities in this series, especially with the fact that the fourth test is in his home ground because he belongs to Jharkhand, and he could have obviously tried to be a part of the series, but we don't know the exact issues, as Arijit himself stated that we are not aware what's wrong with him and BCCI. Some people are prioritizing the IPL of late a little more than domestic cricket, which is a bit sad. And I think even Shreyas Iyer is someone who has been in that similar list of talking because he too skipped the upcoming Ranji Trophy knockouts, and people are saying he's seen in the KKR training camp. So there are a lot of doubts which arise whether he was dropped or whether he was injured or whether it's none of the two. He's more concentrating on the IPL. We don't know about all that. But it was a perfect opportunity for Kishan to make his place cemented, but sadly that didn't happen.
Okay, but I read that Shreya once again had a back spasm, but I don't know whether it's true or not.
Yeah, the same thing. I know for Shreyas Iyer, I think again there's a recurring of back spasm that has troubled him a lot. If you look at his from the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a lot of recurrence of back spasm, and that is the reason why I feel that he is absent from the Mumbai Ranji team, and as well as Shivam Dube, he suffered a side
Yeah,
strain.
correct,
So yeah,
correct.
so two big misses for Mumbai.
Correct. Yes, even I heard for Shivam Dube. Going on to the next slide, that is the schedule. So we have said 2-1 to India now. Moving on to Ranchi. Predictions time, please, Arijit. What are your thinkings? Do you think India can make it 3-1?
Not very good at predictions, but I do think India is not just going to be making it 3-1, but maybe 4-1, or it should stay just 3-1. Because in Ranchi, it might be a draw or it may be an India win. That is what I particularly feel. But in Dharamsala, you're going to see India win the test.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're going to win in Ranchi for sure, and maybe even in Dharamshala as well. I know that the baseball will come hard at us. Now, will they tweak their manner of play? We don't know, but they'll obviously try to win this test because it's more like a do or die for this series unless it gets drawn. So I think that this test will be important for the English, but ultimately we'll have the last laugh.
Okay, so we'll have the last slab. Confidently says both of them. Fair enough. Moving on to the last and final slide before we move on to the playing 11. That is the conditions, the stats out here. Ranchi, Arijit, you know this one very well because you said Jharkhand. But I'll come to the weathers first. Day 3, day 4, day 5. Conditions are very overcast. May expect rain as well. But win the toss, bat first, definitely.
Yeah, I do feel so. It's better to bat first because you know for the team batting in this fourth innings, it gets very difficult. It gets very difficult, and that is why we often see these days that teams tend to skip following on. Even if they have
Yeah.
scored a huge amount of run, and then the next team, the opposition gets bundled in low score. They don't give follow-ons, and they tend to bat in the third inning. So I once again I feel that there are a little bit of cracks from both from the for the right hand for the off stump of the right hander from the far end, if I'm not wrong, and the other end for its left handers off stump region. But the other side is that's quite better. So I feel that if there are cracks on the first day, obviously the cracks may or may not open up. But in here, I do believe that it might open up. So yeah, going on, if it opens up, but again, so it'll be interesting to see because you've got Ashwin, you've got Jadeja, you've got Kuldeep Yadav. You know, it's a difficult thing for the opposition. Whoever it may be. You got to play in this kind of conditions against these three top quality spinners. Yeah, so it's better to bat first. Win the toss and bat. For England, it is very very important because they have looked fragile against spin on certain occasions. Not they've played some good cricket as well, but again they have not been able to continue it throughout the test.
Okay, so bat first and then score a lot of runs and then don't bat fourth is what we say. Okay, moving on to the final slide. That is the predicted playing 11. This is my predicted playing 11. I don't think much of a changes out here. Arijit, I'll start with you. Do you think Rajat Patidar keeps his spot or is it David Padikkal?
Look, personally, I'm telling, I would love to see the Devdutt Padikkal, but going by because he was in some since a sensational form, and just not for that, I've seen him bat once in front, and he's really gorgeous to look. But again, Rajat Patidar, I feel that he deserves another spot. Just you gave him four
Correct.
opportunities, all right, four innings, but again, I think it's better to see him, give the backing because he has potential. If someone has made it to the Indian squad, definitely they have potential, and not just they've performed in the domestic season, and therefore they come here. So I think it's better to give Rajat Patidar another chance, and yeah, I would go on with this particular playing 11 again. Mukesh Kumar or Akash Deep, that time will say.
Okay, I was
but
expecting that
but I
response
would
again.
but for England, I feel there will be changes from here. I don't think Dan Lawrence is going to play because I think they are
Okay,
going to back Johnny Bairstow.
Johnny Bester.
So I do think they're going to back Johnny Bairstow. And another change that they might make is that bring back Ollie Robinson because Mark Wood, he might again they might be managing his workload. So Ollie Robinson, someone who played the last Test cricket in June 2023. Uh, but he's a very good bowler. If you look at his stats, it is very impressive. Even he took 9 wickets in those batting paradise of Pakistan. When England and Pakistan were playing last time. So it'll be interesting. And we have seen the last series when Ollie Robinson came here and he bowled some off spin as well. So if the need comes,
Yeah.
you might see him get the medium pacer inside. Ollie Robinson may get transpired into an right arm off spinner.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I remember that one as
Markwood in the first test, he was not that very good, but in this one, he was really, really good. He
yeah,
was the
correct,
Markwood that we know. But again, not the best to his potential, but it was good.
correct. Okay, and going to Orko, your views on the playing 11, please.
Yeah, as he rightly stated, Arijit rightly said, Rajat Patidar would be backed. I'm pretty much sure about that. They'll give him one more chance. But if there is another way to look at it, we have a lot of right-handers down there in the middle order. So if they just want to add in the left-hander in the middle, then who knows? They may add a particle, or if they want to add a bit more, bowling firepower, then maybe just give more responsibility to Sarfraz and Jurel in terms of batting, and maybe bring in another spinner in the form of Aksar or even Sundar for that matter. So yeah, I think India are in a position to make certain experiments because we are already a test up in this series as compared to England. And when it comes to the English team, I think that they will back Johnny Bairstow as well because he's like the face of baseball for them for a very long time, and it's only fair to back him because his best performances may be due to come. And if not Johnny Bairstow, I think Dan Lawrence can make a place for himself by making Rehan Ahmed sit out. Maybe you can add a bit more batting depth, and because Dan Lawrence can also bowl a bit, of late he has been considered like a mystery spinner of sorts. He's done well even in the BBL and even in the county circuit. So, given the fact that he has also played in India in the past, and he was like Ben Fokes, a player who did well in the Indian spinny tracks. So I think Dan Lawrence could find a way, maybe for a Rehan Ahmed for that matter.
Okay, and can you give your last opinion? Which Bengal pacer will play?
I will go with Mukesh Kumar without a doubt because we lack that experience, and with the minor amount of experience that he has over Akashdeep, I'll prefer him when Bumrah is not there.
Okay, I think Arijit was expecting you to support him and go for Akashdeep, but you stick to Mukesh Kumar. Thank you so much. So I think that concludes the show. Thank you so much to both of you once again. Thank you, big thank you to Arijit. It was a wonderful to have you here. It's a pleasure. But in short words, can you say how was the past 30 minutes? Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, yeah, it's always good to converse cricket with like-minded people, isn't it? So anytime, like if there's a conversation about cricket, and it's always a pleasure. Yeah, best of luck and cheers to both of you guys.
Thank you so much, Arijit. Thank you so much, Arko. Thank you to all the viewers as well who's going to watch this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire as well. This concludes test number 4 for Team India. Let's wish them all the best as well. Till then, thank you so much and bye bye.